Welcome to another NBA On Point Sports podcast. Today we have Adam and Joel. The NBA has been super surprising these past few weeks. Many teams have been doing good, and others we expect to do good aren't doing as good. What teams have surprised you guys the most?
I would say the Warriors because not because they're doing good, but because they're doing like pretty bad. Even with D'Angelo Russell playing, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say the Warriors possibly as well, but I feel like with all of the injuries that they have this season, it's kind of you can kind of see that they would be losing a lot, especially in the West. But the team I would say is probably the Suns. I feel like going into the season, everyone really thought they were just gonna have another losing season, but it seems like it's going to be some sort of a winning season this year, or hopefully at least for the
yeah.
Suns' point of view,
Let's hope they make it a little farther than they did
or
last
at
year.
least compete for something this year.
Yeah,
That's not the number
just
one pick.
a playoff spot. Maybe not the finals, because
What team was Kelly Oubre in last year?
he's
Last year, I think he got traded last year from the Suns,
yeah,
from
from
the
the Wizards to
Wizards.
the
Yeah,
Suns.
they traded Oubre, they traded Otto Porter, they traded Dwight Howard. They're
Yeah,
probably gonna trade Waller Beal, losing everyone for no one.
I don't think they'll keep Rui Hachimura.
They'll probably trade him.
Speaking about the Suns, we have a number of games this week. Some interesting ones too. For today, one of the more interesting games is Lakers and Suns. Who do you guys think is going to take that?
I think that one's hard.
It is. I
I
personally think
think
the Lakers, because they're the
I
Lakers.
got I gotta go with the Suns.
Suns.
Just the way they're playing, you know.
Yeah,
Ricky Rubio with that South.
yeah. I hope the Suns win that one, but just the way that LeBron and AD have been playing recently, it's kind of hard to see that. Though they did lose to the Raptors, so it's not completely unrealistic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the NBA. Anything can happen.
Yep.
um, I I think the Suns are going to take this one. That LeBron AD connection is really good, but that Devin Booker Cam Johnson connection, you know what I'm saying? um, as for today, that's as much. That's as
Nothing
that's
really
like one of the
else.
more interesting games that's happening.
Yeah.
And everything else is kind of you can determine the outcome by yourself. Tomorrow we have a couple of interesting games. We have the Clippers at Rockets. Who's taking that one?
I gotta go with that's another hard game. I gotta go with Clippers on that one.
The Clippers.
Yeah, because they're getting Paul George back.
This one I
I
think
don't
is a
think
Right?
he's
definitely.
returning that game.
He's
Yeah,
returning the
Oh, he's
next
not.
the day after.
per
I
Crispy Haynes, NBA.
yeah. Shout out. I think this is a game where the Rockets will win, but they did lose Eric Gordon too. So both teams are
Yeah,
kind of down a few men. But I do think that the Clippers, it just seems that every time throughout just the history of the NBA, whenever someone gets a star back, it seems like the game surrounding that game that the team has seemed to not really care as much. Um, because or at least they've lost a lot more, and I think just the Rockets will be ready to play, and the Clippers will probably be waiting for Paul George to get back. And also, a lot of the time, Kawhi will probably rest that game, knowing what he's been doing lately.
yeah. Uh, I'm gonna say the Rockets are. Russell Westbrook and James Harden have surprisingly done pretty good together. I didn't think the chemistry would work out because they're two ball dominant guys. Like they're sort of independent. Like they can carry a team by themselves
Hmm.
and together. I didn't think that would work, but it's been
Did
working
it?
pretty good
Did it?
as far as gone. What you can say, hold on?
Didn't they used to play together like back
Yeah,
in the days?
No, yeah,
In
they
the
did, but
Thunder.
Harden
And
came off the bench,
yeah.
and Harden wasn't really like the MVP guy.
Which is also a reason to why you might have thought when the season started that really the only reason Harden did well is because he's on his own team now. But now that they're together, they're still both doing pretty well, even though their defense is really a lot worse, it seems, They're allowing a
Yeah.
lot of points, but their offense is
Yeah.
definitely at a whole new level.
That's going to be something they have to work on, though. Yeah, their defense. Another interesting game we have tomorrow is the Raptors and Blazers. The Blazers haven't been doing so well this season. They lost to a sad Warriors team.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to take this one?
This one's got
I
to
gotta
be.
go.
Who do you got? Who do you have?
I gotta go with the Raptors.
I was gonna also
The
say the Raptors. Just Blazers are struggling right now.
Yeah, the Raptors have been surprising
Yeah, even without
without Kawhi.
Lowry and Ibaka too this season, they still, like we said, knocked off the Lakers as well as a lot
Yeah,
of other teams.
yeah.
Pascal Siak
Yeah,
going ham, man. How many blocks did he have that last game against the Lakers?
I will check that out for you right now. Had to be a lot.
Probably had like 11.
That's a little too much.
Definitely.
That man ain't no center. I'm not like bashing on his blocking skills, but 11, like
11 blocks. Has
That's
anyone
a-
ever gotten 11 blocks?
I don't think so.
Maybe Shaq. I don't know.
Babe, you said Baby
Definitely.
Shaq?
Yeah.
Baby Shaq, 20-year-old Shaq.
Yeah.
20-year-old Shaq.
Let's see.
He
He got 3, so yeah, pretty much 11.
wow, pretty much 11.
Yeah.
So you guys both said Raptors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. For the following day, which is Thursday, we have probably one interesting game. That's gonna be the Bucks and Bulls. Who's taking that?
This one's the Bucks. There's no question. Though Middleton is out, but I don't see the Bulls winning that. They can't beat the Hornets. I don't think they beat the Grizzlies. They might have beat them by like 2. I just don't see them winning that game at least.
I gotta go with the Bucks too. Giannis just too ball dominant, and the Bucks really play good together.
Yeah, the Bulls have been pretty surprisingly awful.
Yeah.
I thought they would be better.
I thought they were going to be a playoff team. At the
Yeah,
very
I thought they'd be
beginning of
better
the season,
coming into the
but-
season because last season I believe they got Otto Porter Jr. like late, and they didn't really have time to build chemistry.
Yeah.
But over the offseason, I thought they would
Markkanen's
Do-
struggling right now.
better. Yeah,
From
Market
what I've
is
seen.
struck. I'm not
But
sure
it's-
how their center is doing, but yeah,
I
clearly
think,
shows
I think
that they haven't been
Wendell's
well.
out right now,
Is he?
depending on what center you want to say is their center.
Yeah, Wendell Carter Jr.
But it is really early in the season still. It's been a few weeks only. The season goes for months upon months. So
Yeah,
they could
82
definitely turn their
games,
season
man.
around.
So can the Warriors.
Yes, sir.
That's highly unlikely though. Anyways, we have another game. I wouldn't consider this interesting, but one of the teams has been facing a lot of backlash on their organization. We got the Mavericks and Knicks. Who's taking that?
Well, this is going to be an interesting one because if I'm right about this, I'm pretty sure this is Porzingis returning to New York.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Mavericks. Porzingis is pretty much going to play that one. I think he's going to probably be the person that they all give the ball to a lot. That's usually how those types of games go. And I think he'll do pretty well. Plus, it's the Knicks. So I have the Mavericks taking that one.
Yeah. Who's taking that one for you, Joel?
I gotta say the Mavericks, but if the Knicks pull this off, if they win, that's gonna be a pretty good game.
That would indeed be interesting. I'd like to see the matchup with Mitchell Robinson against Porzingis because both two very good centers drafted from the Knicks organization going against each other,
Yep.
proving who's better. I had one question about the Knicks for you guys. Who do you guys think is the problem? Like, why are the Knicks losing?
I gotta say the coach.
Do you think it's the coach? I've been seeing that, but I feel like Fizdale's a really good coach.
Yeah,
He's just, I mean, look at the roster they have. It's not the best roster.
but it's not bad.
It's not that bad.
It's no. How can I compare? Well, who can I compare them to? They're not the Warriors.
It's no Lakers.
No, like who's they're
They're
no
they're
Cavaliers, I
they're a
guess.
young team.
I think a big problem is I don't know who, but one of their management, it could have been the owner, I'm not too sure, said that they didn't expect them to be 2-8 after 10 games. And I personally have no idea what they thought they were going to be, because with that roster, I didn't see them winning games at all. Obviously, they'd win the usual amount for them, like 20, 30, but I didn't see them winning a good amount of games. So I was kind of confused to why he was confused, kind of. But also there were reports of the different stars that kind of wanted to sign there, but were pushed away by the Knicks ownership, or the Knicks didn't want to have them there because they didn't really like fit.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of just their front office and their owner or whoever might have been dealing with any of that.
So you're saying the Knicks? Um,
I think their ownership,
how can
the
I?
front
Okay.
office, is the issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do have a pretty solid team.
Yep.
I
They're all
honestly
really
thought
young.
they would go like they would at least win half of their games or like four of their games. But
I mean, they were in it for most of their games. If you go back and watch the last few moments, they were right there. They could easily be over 500 right now,
they could.
just if a
I
few
mean,
things
it's
went
not like they
different.
got blown out every game,
No, not at all.
but like I just thought the Knicks would do better. I thought Stephen A. Smith would be happy at this time of year.
Yeah.
Okay, enough on the Knicks. We're gonna move on to the next couple of games. On Friday, we have a couple of interesting games. We have the 76ers versus the Thunder. Who's taking that one for you guys?
Coming into the season, this is one where I would say the 76ers easily. But with the Sixers struggling recently and the Thunder really doing better than what people thought, it's not too hard to see the Thunder win this one, as well as no matter who was on the team over the last, what was it, 10 years, I think the Sixers only beat the Thunder about once or twice, I believe was the number. So there definitely could be a Thunder victory there, but I'm going to go with the Sixers. It's just the safe choice, I guess, just because they have more talent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I also got to go with the Sixers. They're more dependable. I would say they have more dependable players.
Yeah.
Like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. You could always trust them to play good.
I'm gonna say the Thunder. I don't really know anyone outside of their starting lineup, the 76ers starting lineup. Like, I just know the starting lineup.
They have
That's
Court
about it.
Bonds.
I just know the guy who hit the buzzer beater the other night, but
Yeah.
other than that, like, who the heck plays for
It's
the
actually, I'm
76ers?
gonna look at that right now, because I cannot name anyone outside of their starting lineup besides
Yeah, that's
Court
fair.
Bonds.
And the Thunder,
Oh, they have
they
Matisse
got some.
Thybulle,
Oh, that's right, the rookie.
Trey
Good on
Burke.
defense. Trey Burke,
Yeah.
little short guy.
Yes, sir. That's about it.
That's
That's
about it.
about it. Some G Leaguers.
Damn. Well, yeah, I got the Thunder taking that.
Yeah.
I think Shai Gilgis Alexander's gonna. Oh, my
Shea.
bad. Shea Gilgis Alexander's
SGA.
gonna go off.
Shy.
He'll probably score 40. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe.
Do you still think he is the most improved player of the league?
It's hard to really pick. It's between a few people. It's between him, uh, Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Ingram, and I think there's another person that I'm just forgetting right now. But there's a lot of good people right now who have really improved, which I think is just better for the league in general.
Yeah.
But I think as the season goes on, there will be some people won't do as well, some people will do even better, and someone we're not talking about right now will probably be someone that we think could be the most improved player in like a month. So we'll just have to see as the season progresses.
Yeah. The Thunder, they have a solid team. You know,
Yeah,
they just have to
they're
get rid
not
of
bad.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
future is very bright with
Their
all their
futures,
draft picks.
yeah,
And they've always
They
drafted
should
well.
they should trade.
yeah,
Trade Chris Paul.
100%.
Who would
I don't
he
get why
want,
they got
though?
rid of Jeremy Grant though.
That's something that I don't understand either. But I think they got the draft pick in return, which they got a lot of draft picks this summer. So
Oh, that was this upcoming draft.
I think they have 3 or 4 first rounds for the upcoming draft. They have a
Oh
lot of,
wow,
they have a lot going forward.
that's a lot of picks.
Yeah, and with they've drafted the likes of who they've drafted. They drafted Reggie Jackson, if I'm correct. They drafted obviously Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, all stars now. So those draft
Serge
picks could,
Ibaka,
yeah. So those
Enes
draft,
Kanter.
yeah. See
No,
the
I'm not
list
sure.
is endless. They might have,
They,
but
I don't get how they didn't win a championship.
they have all of those guys, and then just imagine if they were to draft them all again, but then keep them this time. They'd have a
Yeah.
really good team.
Yeah, they would.
And
They
they're
would be
already
super
good
good.
without those draft picks right now. It seems like at least better than what people thought.
Do they still have that one coach, or is it
They have. I'm trying to
who's their
blank for his
coach?
name. I know exactly who he is, but I'm trying to blank right now. I can get that back to you in like 2 seconds.
Well, I don't know. I think Billy Donovan.
Billy Donovan. I don't know why.
He's been there for a while,
He's
and
been
they
there for a
haven't
long time.
really. I think it might be the coaching because Sam Presti, he's good. Like he knows how to draft.
Hmm.
It clearly shows.
I think it's the
But
coach too, but no one wants to.
Admit it.
No one wants to really. It feels like they don't think he's the problem, but then in the end, he's always. They've had decent seasons. It's not like they're at the bottom every single year.
yeah,
And also the team since Durant and James Harden have left haven't been super great. They were still good enough to make the playoffs, but they haven't been like the best teams. And that's kind of
yeah,
when he
Yeah.
was seen the most.
yeah. I think it's Billy Donovan. I think they should get rid of him. Trade coaches, David
Trade
Fisdale.
coaches. There you go.
That'd be hella funny.
Should be a thing.
uh, it should be. For
Trade
Friday we have
staff members.
A staff member for cash.
only for that Friday. We also have the Pacers and the Rockets. More depth versus star power. Who do you think's taking that one?
Go ahead, Joel.
I gotta go with the Rockets
You
just
got the
because they're more. They have more. They have more
star
power. You know, they have more. Yeah, star power.
I think that one's just going to be a matter of can the Pacers outscore the Rockets? Because I don't think that'll be really
Yeah,
a defensive game. Especially with Miles Turner out. I think he'll still be out. And then Sabonis was out a few games, but then back. And then their team's kind of all over the place right now, especially with Oladipo. But he's coming back likely. He might even... I don't think he'll be back for that game, but in the future, definitely.
who Oladipo?
Yeah, for that Friday, I don't think he'll be back. He's just
no.
starting to practice right now.
He's just practicing. Yeah.
I think I gotta go with the Rockets.
Probably be back like in 2 weeks
Yeah,
or a month.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rockets are gonna take this one. I think the Pacers are gonna take it. I think Malcolm Brogdon can hold back
He's having
either
a crazy
James
year
Harden.
so far.
Yeah, I think he can either hold back James Harden or Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Sabonis will be in the paint, taking care of Capella. They got the Pacers have other pieces like T.J. Warren. Is he back?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have T.J. Warren,
They have still a really good team. Jeremy Lamb.
Jeremy Lamb. Yeah, but I agree with you. It's going to be a matter of like who can outscore who, because the Rockets are mainly offense.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next day, Saturday, we have a decent amount of games. We have some good, interesting ones. Others not so interesting. Joel, we can hear you breathe. I'm sorry. We have the Raptors at Mavericks. Who's taking that one?
That one's gotta be. That's actually a tough one, just because the Mavericks kind of have lost games that they shouldn't lose, and have won some other ones that looked like they wouldn't have won. So have the Raptors too, which is why it's so hard. But I would probably say the Mavericks, just because I think the Raptors not having Ibaka and not having Lowry will they'll eventually catch up to them. They'll have issues along the way.
Joel, who's taking that one?
I gotta go with the Raptors because versus they showed that even without Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka and all that, They still won the Lakers.
Yeah.
So, they could show it again.
Yeah. Pascal Siakam has shown some promise, over the past few games. Um,
Could be his
but
first All-Star appearance this year.
probably with Steph Curry out,
Yeah. There's a
Clay,
lot of people out this
Draymond,
season for
Kevin
a long
Durant.
time.
The league's weird. Maybe we'll see friggin' Malcolm Brogdon as an All-Star. That'd be
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
odd. Shea, yeah, Shea, not shy, Shea.
Yep.
But yeah, I have the Mavericks taking this game because I think with time Pascal is gonna get a little tired, and I don't think he'd carry the team that much.
That
Fred
matchup's gonna be good.
Van Fleet has been showing up, but Luka and Porzingis, and then the supporting cast, I think they're a better team than the Raptors are. But
I
the
think
Raptors have
I
shown.
think Siakam um could probably take down Porzingis.
That's gonna be a good
Yeah.
matchup.
Who's guarding Luka?
You want to say
Siakam.
Freddie? Siakam.
Siakam's
Guarding
going to be
both.
all over the floor.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
sir.
gonna guard both.
Siakam's going to do a shadow clone jutsu.
Yes, sir. They probably put Fred Van Vliet on him though.
Yeah. So we kind of got a split decision there. Another interesting game for that Saturday is going to be the Trailblazers and Spurs. Who's going to take that one for you guys?
I gotta go with Spurs.
I gotta go with the Spurs too. The Spurs you can't bet against them to not make the playoffs, and obviously that has to do with them winning games throughout the season. And just no matter who they have, they seem to keep winning over the years. I think they'll win that one too.
I'm going to also say the Spurs. They have some young talent. The Spurs. How do you guys see the Spurs going into the future? Because they lost all their stars.
Yeah.
They still have Greg Popovich. He's probably going to be there for a year more or two. They have a lot of guards, which is kind of concerning. And they just really haven't been the same Spurs that they have been back in the early 2010s.
But they've still been making the playoffs, which shows that they probably could make it this year, especially with a few of the teams that did make it last year most likely dropping out.
Yeah.
I just think that after this season, they'll probably part ways with DeRozan. I think he's a free agent this year. And then LaMarcus Aldridge, I think as well. I
To the
personally
Warriors,
think
probably?
they
I could
could-
I could see DeRozan going to the Lakers.
that would be
honestly.
interesting.
Oh. I would like to see him go back to Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
seems
with
to like
Danny
it there.
Green gone, they have that shooting guard spot open up.
Yes, sir. Like to see Kyle Lowry. Best friends. Get back together.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong with that? But do you think the Spurs can hold on to this little playoff run they've been having? Every year.
Well, eventually it's gonna end. I think this year they'll make it though. Just with, because who made it last year? The Warriors are gonna drop out.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder are gonna drop out. The Blazers are struggling right now. If they don't get it together, they might drop out.
Yeah.
You have the Clippers will make it, and then
The Kings, who are
the Kings
doing
are kinda struggling
good.
too this year,
Yeah.
which could be
Surprising.
Luke Walton.
Yeah.
Um,
It's obviously Luke Walton.
and then you have the Mavericks probably making it. You have the Lakers probably making it. So, do the Spurs have a chance? I think they do. I think they can be the 8th seed or 7th seed. But just over the years, the last few years, especially, you can see that they went from the 2nd seed down to I think the 7th or 6th seed, and then the 7th seed again. So they're dropping as time goes on. I think they'll eventually drop out, but this year I have them still making it.
But do you think they're younger guys will, you think they're promising, to keep this little Spurs run going?
Well, I think
Do you think that the Spurs have a future?
they have a good core with them right there. But just if you look at the rest of the league, like we were talking about the Kings, I think maybe not this year. They could still make it, but after this year, I think they can definitely have a big time chance to make it. The Timberwolves are still competing for that spot. the Suns are still competing for that spot. Once the Pelicans get Zion, the Blazers are there. There's just so many. They have to get to the point where it's just the 16 best teams, because we are getting really close to where maybe in a few years we have all but, let's say, maybe the Grizzlies and pretty much everyone else is competing for a playoff spot,
I
which
say,
hasn't really happened in a long time, if ever.
Joel.
oh yeah, I feel like when the Suns get Aiden back, and do way better. And it's Aiden, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
But we're on the
DeAndre
Spurs.
Ayton,
We're on the Spurs,
Yeah.
bro.
But yeah, the Suns could make it, and then that could drop out the Spurs, like we were saying.
Yeah. I do like DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray. They have Derek
He's
White.
Yeah, that's a they have Lonnie Walker too, but
Yeah.
they're like all guards, you know.
They do have a lot of guards.
They have to trade, you know.
Marcus Aldridge they have still.
That's about it.
Yeah, they don't have too many big men.
They're like grown men playing with teenagers, like old men, you know. Not
Yes, sir.
40, not
yeah.
not 30,
And
not 20, you
Aldridge
know.
getting there.
They're like 70-year-olds. Like basically, that's how I view them in the NBA now.
I think they should trade for draft picks.
Yeah, they should just start rebuilding right now. Get rid
Yeah,
of DeRozan
That's
and
probably one
DeMarcus.
of the biggest things someone could say is the Spurs rebuilding, because that's something that they probably could have done the last few years ever since Kawhi left,
Yeah,
but they've still chose to keep competing, and they've still made the playoffs year after year.
yeah.
So I don't know
They
if
did
they'll
have
ever.
a pretty good run against the Nuggets last year.
Yeah, Game 7. I don't know
Yeah.
if they'll ever decide, like, okay, let's rebuild. Or at least once Greg Popovich leaves, then they'll finally rebuild, I think.
Maybe. I think Lonnie Walker is his last project.
Unless
Moving
they
on
trade
to the
him.
next. I doubt that. He's
You
really
never
good.
know. It's a business.
Oh, the NBA is a business. Okay, we're gonna move on to the
Like
next
DeRozan.
next day. We got for Sunday. We have a couple interesting games. We have the Hawks and Lakers. Who's taking that?
That's a weird one.
Lakers.
Oh, you just straight away just Lakers. I think
Again,
that's
again.
Drummond. So I think that one's the one where the Hawks could take it possibly. Though with John Collins out, they've been struggling, and when Trey was out but John Collins wasn't, they were struggling as well a little bit. I'm gonna have to say
Yeah.
the Lakers, just because of if the Hawks were fully healthy, or I guess they're not really even hurt, just if they had all their players back, that would possibly put them over for me. But with John Collins gone, I definitely have the Lakers.
I don't see any player from the Hawks like stopping AD or LeBron. So I
That's
got
definitely
Cam
Lakers.
Reddish, my boy.
Cam Reddish stopping Anthony
Cam
Davis.
He's stopping LeBron and Anthony Davis.
If he
shooting
takes
threes
down
from
Boss
half court.
LeBron, we'll do something.
Okay, we're gonna have to throw a party for Cam Fam if he
Yes,
does.
sir.
Cam Fam, if you're hearing this, you know you gotta block that, man.
Block LeBron.
For that Sunday, we don't really have that many interesting games. We're gonna move on to the next Monday, and we're gonna stop it there because that's when the next podcast is gonna be. Or the following day. We have the Timberwolves and the Jazz. Who's taking that one?
That's an interesting one, just because at that point the Jazz might have their offense fully together. Right now it seems like they're kind of off and on. They have a really good offensive day, then a really bad one. And then the Timberwolves are just competing really well every night. I'm going to have to go with the Timberwolves. Just because Andrew Wiggins and Cat have just been having a phenomenal season so far.
Yeah. Joel, who's taking that one?
I gotta go with Minnesota. Same that Adam said.
Yeah. Andrew Wiggins has been, surprisingly good. I feel like it was the haircut, He just got a haircut and then
Could've
boom.
been.
Maybe the hair was just like pulling him back.
Like
Cornrows do look like they hurt. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a few players who changed their hair and then changed kind of how they played recently. Alfred Payton.
Like
did one
when
of it.
Steph Curry got those little dreads.
Yeah, that was a horrible night.
Was it?
I think he had a horrible shooting night. Then they took him out the next day.
Oh damn. It's the hair, man. It's all in
It's
the
the hair.
hair. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Timberwolves too.
Cat also
Unless
has a
the
different
Jazz can.
haircut.
Oh, that's right.
It's the hair.
It's the hair.
Doesn't
It's the
Michael
Unless.
buzz
Conley too?
cut, bro.
I'd call him Michael Conley. Mike Conley.
I'm not sure. I think he's always had the
Yeah.
the long hair. But I think the Timberwolves are taking that because the Jazz, they haven't been showing how good they can be. Like, they haven't reached their full potential yet.
Gobert's kind of been struggling.
Yeah. I think he possibly might leave. That might be
Maybe.
crazy to say, but I think
They might
he's
try
not
to
agreeing
trade
with.
somewhere.
I think he might request a trade because
You think so?
he said something about like the team not using his offense correctly.
Oh yeah.
Because like last year he was doing really good on offense.
Well, I
Like,
mean, this year they have a lot of options. A
yeah,
lot
that's what
more
I'm saying.
options.
I don't think he likes that. I don't think he likes being just the defensive guy.
I think
Like,
if
he wants to be
anything, he'll wait.
incorporated into the offense.
Yeah, I think if anything, he'll wait until this offseason just because this is the first full year where people are actually thinking they can win it all. Or at least they have a chance to win it all. Compared to the last few
Yeah.
years, they were just kind of another playoff contender. And he might want to just try it out, see what happens during the playoffs, and then maybe if it doesn't work out, request a trade in the offseason.
Yeah, a championship does change your mindset.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is Gobert, the Bay is open.
Yes, sir.
The Bay is open.
Golden Gate Bridge is open 24/7.
I don't care if you go to the Kings or the Warriors. The Bay is open. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next little segment. We've had a couple of injuries
A
these
lot of
past couple of
injuries.
weeks. Yeah, and also a couple players returning from injuries.
Yeah.
One of the more surprising injuries was, I'm not sure if we covered Steph Curry. Did we cover? Did we cover Steph Curry?
No, we
I
haven't.
I think he broke his hand before last podcast, but there's been a lot more news about him this last week.
Yeah, I mean, there was a report about him like not being able to play at all
Yeah.
for the rest of the
I think that
season,
was
but
from
then he
Steve
came out the
Kerr.
other night. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I think he said
came out-
Says that
he was probably
a lot.
gonna come back like at the end of the season.
Yeah.
early spring.
Around
He
the
said
summer
early
Yeah.
spring.
is the quote.
You believe him?
No,
I don't see the reason. I think if they're contending for a playoff spot, then sure. I think he can. I think what he's doing is still having it open so that at the end of the season, if he comes back, not everyone's freaking out. But
Yeah.
I don't think he should. If they're if they're like 20-50, I don't think he should come back. Just because going 30-50 really helps no one. Just because they get a lower draft pick. But I think
Yeah.
that's the reason that
Yeah.
him and Clay have kind of not ruled themselves out is just because if they make the playoffs, because they've been competing hard, but I don't think hard enough for a playoff spot in the West.
It'll
Man, I gotta
definitely
go
be
with-
weird seeing the Warriors.
I gotta go
not
with Adam.
You gonna agree with Adam?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's gonna be weird seeing the Warriors not in the playoffs. I don't think D'Lo can pull through. D'Lo, since our last podcast has returned, he hasn't really. Well, I mean, he's been doing good, but the team is not really
Dropped 52.
doing
He's
good.
been doing all right.
Yeah, he's decent. Light
I
52.
think he's put up 30 in like 4 or 5 straight games, they said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Another injury we had up in our neighboring country with the Toronto Raptors. Kyle.
There's 2 of them, wasn't
Oh, there's 2 of them.
Well, him and Ibaka.
Oh snap!
yeah, they're both.
I think he had a sprained ankle. But they have no idea how long he's going to be out, which tells me kind of it might be a lot worse than a normal sprained ankle.
Yeah,
So
probably fractured.
Kyle Lowry broke his thumb. No,
everyone's breaking their hands. I don't know
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
a weird
I
little
feel like last
trend.
year was
some type of voodoo in the NBA.
Yeah, I feel like last year a lot of people, Nurkic and Levert, both had kind of that like broken, fractured
Leg?
ankle.
Ah,
It was like a trend that year, not a good trend at all, but just a lot of people would seem to kind of have that injury, and now this year already we're seeing a lot of broken hands.
yeah. Steph
So-
Curry, Damian Lee, Kyle Lowry.
And from what I've seen from the injuries, it doesn't. They're not all like falling. No one's falling on top of them. It's all different things. It's just kind of weird that they all are having a kind of a fractured hand this year.
Yeah.
So many, especially.
We've had one weird case. Blake Griffin. He was supposedly returning, but now he's not. I'm not sure what's going on there.
So
Uh,
he was supposed to return yesterday, was it right? Or
I'm not
today?
sure.
He was supposed to return
I
one of
think it
these
was
days.
yesterday.
Yeah, one of these days. And then I remember seeing whether it was yesterday or today. I can't remember. But I saw his name come up, and they said he wasn't playing due to like him and D Rose weren't playing because they were still recovering from injury. So hopefully nothing happened to when he started practicing. Nothing happened to kind of push him back, especially
Yeah.
in the Pistons case, because they definitely need him back as soon as possible.
The Pistons are probably just trying to be cautious,
Yeah,
not like rushing it.
definitely
Yeah.
with how their season ended last year, because Blake Griffin said he
Yeah.
practically didn't have one of his legs.
We hate to see them get injured. Uh,
Yeah, definitely.
Hayward got injured again.
Again, broke something else.
Hate to see him get injured, man. He can't really catch a break. He's been doing good
He
this
just he
season,
just
but
started putting up Utah Jazz Jordan Hayward numbers
yeah,
or
if
something
not better.
similar. Yeah.
Um, we've also had some players returning. Draymond Green made a return the other day, but that the outcome came in a loss. We also have Paul George returning. How do you see the Clippers, adapting to Paul George, or
I
the
say
other way
it's
around
over.
for the league?
The season's over. The just the way that because it seemed like that first night against the Lakers, they really tried as hard as they could, and they beat
Yeah,
them without Paul George. And then they beat the
I
Warriors by
mean,
about 20, scoring 140 without Paul George.
Clippers are such like a well-rounded team, and with Paul George in it, it's just like even even better.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm just wondering because a lot of the time people like what I'm saying right now would say that they scored 140 and then add Paul George, which is another 20 or 30 to get them to 160 or 170.
you think they're going that far? You're a little crazy,
I don't
man.
think they are. That's the thing. I feel like obviously when Paul George comes back, someone's shots are being taken away, and he's
Yeah,
gonna get
other people are
those.
stepping down when he comes back.
That's kind of the thing. But I think his defense is gonna be possibly the biggest thing about him, especially in the beginning,
Yeah.
because I think his defense will still be there, but his offense might, especially in the new
What
system, because he's never played alongside Kawhi.
what was his injury before the season?
He had so last year he had a shoulder issue, which then he carried into the. I remember he had somewhat of an MVP season. I would have said if he stayed healthy the whole year, he was my pick for the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
But then he hurt his shoulder, carried that into the playoffs, still hurt. Off season he had surgery, and then he was still recovering from that right now.
So it's his shoulder, not
It
anything like.
no, it's his shoulder that he had issues with last year. It's just the surgery he's recovering from right now. It's just a
Oh,
matter
okay.
of time. So
Well, I was gonna say if it's like anything in his legs, like his knee or his
no,
ankle, like his defense wouldn't be as good. But I guess
and
that's not the
he
case.
was still shooting well without the shoulder practically.
Yeah.
But the
He was
thing,
missing a
Uh,
solid
shoulder, yeah.
shoulder.
But the weird thing is that we always said like, oh, how would LeBron and AD be together? How would Westbrook and Harden be together? But we never really questioned Paul George and Kawhi.
no, we did.
Did we though? I always thought it was just the season was over. We'll definitely see coming up this week when he returns how that kind of comes
I
into
mean, they
play.
both basically are the same player. Like they are the
They
same
can
player.
both easily play in the system, but it's a matter they can play in the same system, but it's a matter of will they and how they go about doing it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna like alternate. Like they're gonna do that load management stuff,
Yeah.
which is boring. They're gonna have Kawhi sit out one night and Paul George plays one night, that night, and then they'll alternate between Paul George and
Yep.
Kawhi, and then once in a blue moon they're gonna have them play together.
Yep.
Which I'm gonna hate to see that, but
It's gonna be
I
tough.
don't know.
They'll play the
I think they're
Hornets
gonna do
together.
that. We have another weird, interesting case. Victor Oladipo is reportedly coming back
Hmm.
in a couple months. He's moved to the G League. How do you think the Indiana Pacers are going to do when he comes back?
It's gonna be interesting to see them all together because we haven't seen him in pretty much a year. I think January was when he got hurt, if I'm right. And they've
Yeah.
added a lot of pieces since then, so I think they'll definitely be better. But then, obviously, also with that, how is he going to play alongside them? And with people like T.J. Warren or Malcolm Brogdon possibly not getting the same amount of shots, how might that affect their game? Or coming off the bench, it could change a
Do you
lot.
think
But
he's going to show like the same little
I think he'll.
spark
I
he had
think he'll
last
be.
year?
Yeah, I think he'll be because I don't think he needed this much time off. I think I read something that it was all precautionary keeping him out this long because I was it a super severe because he tore his quad, right?
I'm not sure.
He had a severe quad tear, I'm pretty sure. And I remember Boogie tore his quad in the first round and then came back in the finals. So just that short amount of time, and then if you compare that to him being out the entire year, that's a big difference. So I think
Yeah.
it's precautionary.
Who else? Do you think the Indiana Pacers will do better with Victor Oladipo or stay where they're at?
I mean, I think at first they're gonna do bad just because he's obviously hasn't played for a long time. I think they're gonna still need to get used to him in the lineup,
Yeah.
and then after that, I feel like they're gonna be playing better after like a few games.
Yeah, it's going to take some time to adjust. Um, so this is not an injury, but it is it is a weird case. We've seen this probably happen uh, quite some time
Yep,
in this season at least. Players using drugs. Um,
it's been an ongoing
uh,
thing.
yeah, for this season, which has been weird. Dion Waiters the other day, I
In
think passed
at
out on
least,
a plane.
Yep, on the team playing.
Um, yeah, on the team plane right before a game, man.
Yeah,
And
was
it
it
was said
before the
that
game?
he overdosed on gummies. I think it was before a game. Yeah.
Because I remember that was reported the night of. It was right after the Laker game, or the night after the Laker game.
Yeah, he was supposed to play that Laker game, but that's
Oh, really? I didn't know
that's
that.
when he. I
Yeah.
think that's what happened. But
Either way, happened right then.
what do you think the NBA has to do in order to stop this from happening? Because we've seen guys like John Collins go out because of this. Well, not necessarily, marijuana, but drugs.
Anti-drug violation or something.
Yeah, DeAndre
I
Ayton,
mean, don't they find them?
I
Wilson
think they fined
Chandler.
them and then they suspended them, obviously, and then they
I mean,
suspended Dion Waiters too. But
I think this has to be on the players. They should be like responsible, you know.
well, I think the thing that's interesting about this is that I'm pretty sure the Ayton and Collins thing was a drug involved in like helping
Their
them
performance.
like their
Yeah.
performance.
Oh,
This
But they
was
both said that they didn't know that was there, yet they got 25 games off. Dion Waiters just on a plane did this, and he only gets 10 games off. It's kind of what was interesting to me. But maybe they view the performance enhancing as more of a big deal.
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, because it affects the way they play.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So does
probably like
marijuana.
Yep.
um. Well, I mean, it was said that D Waiters had a seizure.
Yeah. That was later. It was later called a panic attack, I think.
Oh, okay.
he's probably so high he just couldn't realize
Yeah.
where he was at or something. I don't know. He's all looking.
Well, let's hope the man.
He's like looking down from the plane.
Yeah. Feeling like Travis Scott up there. Let's hope the man doesn't overdose again because we'd like to
Yeah,
see him play. He's
he's a good player.
yeah. We're gonna move on to our last segment, which is pretty interesting. Um, as you both know, LeBron hasn't been doing too well. AD's kind of been hauling the freight. LeBron not really on the points, but he's been helping with assists and rebounds. But AD is mostly like the dominant guy when it comes to points. Do you think LeBron is on the decline? And if so, who is that guy for the NBA, like the franchise NBA player?
Luca. It gotta be
Whoa.
You have
Luca or
Luka.
Giannis.
I
Luca or
think
Giannis.
I think Giannis is. It's got to be Giannis. That's the easy answer. But I also feel like LeBron's going to leave, like he says, after LeBron James Jr. comes into the league, and then he's going to be the person that all the media is around for the next 20 years after that.
Yeah, because he's LeBron.
I say Luca because he's such like there's only one Luca. You don't see other players
Yeah.
play like him.
Yeah.
That's why I say Luca.
The whole Luca
Yeah.
Trey thing. Then we have Zion
Yeah.
too, who we have yet to even see play this year, which is
Oh, we
crazy.
saw a little
We saw
bits
one
of him
game
in the
preseason.
preseason.
Yeah, but that's
It was pretty promising, but
Yeah.
the
Gotta
man just
stay
gotta lose
healthy.
weight, man.
Or just stay healthy in some way.
So you both do agree that LeBron is on the decline?
I think he
Yeah.
is. So is his hair.
I think so too.
Um,
I was thinking the same thing, but I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna say it.
Got it. But yeah, he's in his 17th season. People are saying he's getting better. He's just putting up rebounds and assists. But we'll definitely see in the playoffs because I feel like he's definitely letting Anthony Davis do most of the work right now.
I mean,
And then
under
in the playoffs,
pressure, LeBron is like
yeah, it's always
the
at the end
best,
of the
I would
game when they need to close out that he's hitting those shots. But when you kind of let someone else do a lot of the heavy lifting for most of the game, you can probably do that. But we'll definitely see in the playoffs when he's the one that's needed, really at the very
Yeah.
end. We'll definitely see if he's still the best player in the world.
Yeah, I do agree that LeBron is on the decline, but I think he's going to make an appearance in the playoffs, like you said.
Yeah.
And if they make it to the finals, he's going to be that guy,
Yeah.
He's going to be LeBron James, the best player in the NBA, in the world,
LeBron James.
possibly ever to exist. LeBron James, yeah. But if LeBron were to not show up, I would agree that Giannis is the best player. But when it's not Giannis,
Do you both
it's
just
Steph
say
Curry.
Giannis? Like, do you
It's Steph Curry.
Giannis?
No, yeah, I say
Giannis.
Giannis. There's a G in his name
Giannis.
for a reason.
I say Giannis
Ain't no
too.
silent G.
Silent. It's
Giannis.
He ain't no
Well, it's not really even
Giannis.
silent.
lasagna.
What?
Lasagna.
Ain't no bologna. There's a G
Bologna.
in bologna, but you don't hear that.
Debatable.
Wait, how do you say it? Is it Giannis or
It's
Giannis?
Giannis.
I always say Giannis.
It's like Giannis Adetokounmpo. But there's like an N in, there's an N in there apparently.
Adetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo.
That's how you say it.
Antetokounmpo.
But yeah, if it's not LeBron, it's Giannis. But when Steph Curry's back, it's Steph Curry. No debate. It's Steph Curry. I mean, you have to agree, right? The man is
I gotta
he's
go
good.
with Kawhi after.
Kawhi. He could
Yeah.
definitely be up there.
So Steph, Steph, no.
I mean, Steph, I would say is like
Steph's
at least
up there.
the fifth.
Yeah, he's top 5.
Yeah,
Easily.
Damn.
just because he's like.
But watch, when
I don't know,
Steph goes
he's not-
Super Saiyan mode, y'all will be changing your opinions.
But is LeBron top 5?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
top 5.
Right
Yeah.
now?
LeBron's top 5.
You think right
Yeah.
now?
Right now. Yeah, I would say right now. Yeah, he's
Who-
top 5.
I would say Giannis, Kawhi, Curry, Durant, Anthony
Whoa, whoa,
Davis.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Durant
whoa.
isn't even playing.
We're
Oh, we're
including
talking
injured
healthy right now?
people.
We're
Yeah.
talking healthy. I'm
Yeah.
talking just in general this season.
Oh,
They haven't even
Durant hasn't
played,
even
though.
been playing.
I might
Yeah,
mess
Durant
around
hasn't
and put Klay Thompson number 2.
Oh my God. No, yeah, Klay Thompson's the GOAT.
Yes, sir.
even-
No,
Klay
yeah, Klay
is really
Thompson's a goat.
underrated. Honestly.
Yeah.
He's well rounded. He's such a good player, man.
Yeah.
Klay, man, I miss you, man.
Come back.
Get healthy soon. Steph Curry, you too, man. Dre,
Nah, but that's not soon. Steph Curry broke his
That's a
hand.
long
fix
time.
your finger, man.
A lot.
Fix your finger, Dre. Fix your shot, Dre. Damn, you wearing a backpack or what?
Yes.
Last night Tony Parker retired his jersey in San Antonio, which was a pretty crazy night. It was the official end of the Spurs' big 3.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big.
Congratulations to Tony Parker. You guys have anything to say, Tony Parker, if he's listening?
To be honest, I didn't know he was
Congrats.
French
Oh, really?
until today.
You
I
didn't know
love
he
He
was
this
was
guy.
French.
French?
No, I did not know he was French.
Holy. It was said that
Wow.
Kobe trash talked
I
in
thought
French or something.
I
Did
thought
Or
he
he?
was
someone.
like a
That's pretty
because
cool.
Tony Parker sounds like a white name. Tony Parker, like it's like Spider Man or something. Tony Parker.
It's a
I don't
Tony
know.
Parker.
That's
It's not
Italian.
French.
No, yeah, I know. Well,
Uh,
anyways, congratulations to Tony Parker, man. Retirement,
yeah.
that's great. We're gonna close it off here. Um, it's been, quite some time. We're gonna end it off here. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe on this video. Follow us on our social media. We'll have this up on Wednesdays, NFL on Saturdays. Thank you for
Yep.
listening. We'll see you next time.